Welcome to another episode, everyone. Today I'm going to be tasting two heavily peated scotches. So two scotches that are famous for being like smoky, deep, dark, and including the bottles. Right, the bottles are, I think, indicative of what you are supposed to take away from the experience here, right? So we have the Octomore 14.1. So that's, I think, the first release of this. There are 3 releases per year, I believe. So this is the first from this year, and I believe that point ones are supposed to be the most, the ones that don't vary as much every year, that are the most iconic, the most standard vanilla, right? Octomores. This is a product from the Bruichladdich distillery. Bruichladdich is, I believe, famous for doing non-peated whiskies. So, for example, the classic Laddie, the very nice blue, like sky blue bottle that you've probably seen. This thing here, right? Like the bottle says that it's super heavily peated, but ironically, this is probably the least, the least aggressive whiskey in terms of how smoky it is, how that, at least compared to other peated scotches that I've tasted, right, including this thing here, the Ardbeg Uigeadail, which is non-age stated. They're both non-chill filtered, right? So again, like you would expect them, you going into the tasting experience, you expect them to be full-bodied, a little oilier. This thing is, however, like lower proof than the other one. The Octomore is almost 60% ABV. It's 59.6. This one here is 54.2 ABV, right? So it's a little lower. This one is non-age stated. The Octomore, or this Octomore in particular, is a 5-year-old whiskey. So, meaning that, and I think it's intentional that they bottle it at a younger age, because it will taste a little more, a little brighter, right? And you will see the color when I pour it. It is a little brighter and a little more in your face, right? So it's not as maybe as muted or refined as an older whiskey would be, or the word that everyone loves, smooth, right? It's not as smooth, maybe. Although I have a very particular, because I've tasted this before, like, unlike maybe in a couple of the videos I've done recently, like I've tasted both of these before. Like the impression I have is that the Uigeadail is significantly like bolder, smokier than this one here. This one, the impression I have is that it's a very delicate sort of whiskey. It's not. It's marketed as like super heavily peated, but that's sort of not really what you're getting here. I mean, I bought this I bought it because it's, of course, like one of the. I think I've referred to this list before in another one of my videos, like a list that the Whiskey Vault compiled of like the most sought after scotches. So this thing came in second place, the Octomore. So but again, like I bought it not only because of that, but because it's marketed as being super heavily peated, and that's not really what you're getting here. You're getting a much more, like, again, complex, bright, vibrant sort of experience than just like smoke and bacon and cured meats, etc. So anyway, let's pour this in. I mean, just opening the bottle, you can smell the peat already. Yeah, I'll just put a bit and then. Yeah. The Uigeadail, like again, this is the Uigeadail, the Ardbeg. This is the Octomore, so you can see that this is a lot dark, not like, not significant, I guess, but a bit darker than this, right? And it is, sorry, it is finished, right? So Uigeadail is finished in sherry barrels, right? So maybe the color is partly from the finish. I don't know, like again, it's non-age stated, so I don't know how old it is, but we'll see what we get once we start tasting them. So let's take a look at the Octomore first. Right, actually, since it's been a while since I've tasted the Ardbeg, let's try the Ardbeg first, and then move on to the Octomore. Getting like what you would expect from a whiskey like this, like the smoke, the bacon, but also like apple, some honey in on the nose. The Ardbeg. So Ardbeg, getting apple. We're getting honey. What else? Yeah, it's very sweet, right? Like I think both of these, maybe compared to like again other peated whiskies, peated scotches, these are very sweet. I mean, again, and this is finished in sherry barrels, sherry casks. So I mean, again, that's to be expected, I guess. Get some golden raisins, maybe some pear, right? Like as well. And now the Octomore. Wow. And a significantly less potent, less overpowering nose. Like again, going back to the way the whiskey is marketed, it's not really beating you over the head with flavor. It's a much more like refined, I think, whiskey. It's not, and again, like it's higher proof than the Ardbeg, so you would at least expect the proof to be more noticeable, but it's not. It's a lot more. Getting some peach. Some vanilla. Go back. like again, it's a lot milder, brighter um, than the Ardbeg. Yeah, like all the aromas here have been like cranked up to 100. I think, right, which is what you would expect from the other bottle, right? Like given that it's like super heavily whatever peated, right? Like, but this one here seems to have more brute force, if you will. um let's just go back to the nose on this one, because I didn't pick up a lot my first time through. Some fig, maybe. And some walnuts. Like on the nose, like I know that the Octomore is very good on the palate. The nose, though, I'm gonna have to give it a lower score than the Ardbeg, right? So the Ardbeg, we're gonna say, right, like looking back to the scores, like the Dalmore, like I give a 93 to the Dalmore and a 95 to the Pappy Van Winkle. This is, I think, a more traditional nose. There's nothing like particularly, I think, like special about it, right? Like it's pretty much what you would expect, right? Sure, it's a little fruitier, it's a little sweeter than your regular peated whiskey, but yeah, like it's not like amazing. So let's say an 85. And let's do a 75. Let's give the Octomore a 75 on the nose. All right, so on the palate, let's start with the Ardbeg again. Yeah, there's a lot more to unpack here. Like, if I had more time, if the video could go on forever, I'd be here, like, picking apart a little more of the flavors that I can find here on the nose, the aromas. But let's move on. Yeah. So not only are you getting the stewed meats, like pulled pork, etc., but you're also getting, as I said, on the nose, you're getting honey, but also a bit of chocolate on the palate. Yeah, can't tell if it's like dark or milk chocolate, let's say, but because it's sweet, so let's say chocolate, just generic chocolate. Let's just say chocolate for now, in any case. Yeah, I think there's a lot going on here. So it's maybe a little unfair. Let's move it up a little. The grade that I gave it on the notes, a little bit unfair to give it an 85. It's maybe a little more special than I was saying initially. Let's give it an 87 on the nose. I think the sherry cask really helps, you know, give the whiskey a little more complexity. Also picking up some like some maybe raspberries. Yeah, some red fruits, but like tangy. So some, let's say raspberry. Some caramel too. Maybe towards the finish, right? Towards the back end of like the experience, right? Like there's some lingering caramel, right? Like the honey. I think the honey that you get on the nose, like just slowly transforms into something darker, right? So something more like dark caramel, right? Anyway, let's go to the Octomore now. Yeah. I mean, make no mistake, this is very good too. It's just more delicate, right? Like the aromas are just a little fainter, but I think that's maybe intentional, right? Like again, this, and again the price difference here is significant, right? Like you're dealing with an $80 bottle of whiskey here, as opposed to a 200 plus bottle with the Octomore, right? So I think what they're going for is something more elegant over here, right? So keep that in mind, I guess. Yeah, and all, I mean, like again, I've said this, I think, when I reviewed the Russell's 15. Like I got a seawater or beach sort of aroma. That's what I'm getting here too, right? Something summery, right? And I mean the color of the whiskey too, right? Like helps enhance that sort of profile, I guess. Yeah, you feel the proof first of all. Yeah, the finish. The finish is great, right? I mean, but all right. But what I'm noticing first of all is that like immediately, what seems to be a very like again approachable, muted sort of whiskey makes itself heard or felt, I guess, in this case, and the you can see that you can feel that it travels from the front of your palate towards the back of your palate, and you can feel it like zing, you can feel it go right, like travel. You can feel it travel, and that's you know, it's a very nice experience, right? When like again we've discussed that before, like when the whiskey does things that you can notice on the palate, right? Like that's also what marks you know one of the distinctive properties of a good whiskey, right? Is, you know, a distinctive way of expressing itself on the palate, I guess. You can still, like, again, as you would expect, you can taste the, you know, the pulled pork as you do in the Uigeadail, but here, you know, again, it's a lot classier. Let's say, right? If pulled pork can be classy at all, it's a lot more. It's a lot lighter, right? Like all the flavors here are lighter, in spite of the proof, right? Like, again, the proof is higher. You feel that it's higher in this one, so it packs a greater punch, right? It packs more of a punch than the other one, but you're still dealing, like on the palate, you're still dealing with a very subtle, nuanced aromas, right? Whereas the other one is more, like, I think, more well defined, right? Or better defined. I guess the flavors are better defined in the Ardbeg. Now, I would say that this is more of a whiskey. I mean, and again, like, the price is a lot higher, right? So I would expect that, right? Like a whiskey of, you know, that costs $200+ to be significantly more complex, and that's, I think, what you're getting here, right? Like, you will have a harder time, like, picking flavors apart, but that's precisely the point, right? Like, that's what makes a more expensive whiskey more fun, right, to drink than something that just is making, you know, is making it clear why it's there, right? Which is what you're getting with the Uigeadail. Here you'll have more fun, right? Like, it's a more interesting experience because you get peach, plum, the golden raisins that I mentioned before. With respect to the Uigeadail, actually, I mean, you also get that here, right? Some raisins, some peaches, because it's a little sour, right? So I'm it makes me think of a plum, right? So now let's see how they do on the finish. The Ardbeg first. Yeah, I feel that this is like a lot more decadent, if you will, right? Like, There's the meats, but also a lot of sweetness. Right, so it's more like, feels like a festive sort of whiskey, right? Festive, like rustic maybe, right? More like authentic, between quotation marks, because whatever the hell that means, but that's what you're sort of getting. It's a sort of more robust, more vigorous sort of thing. It doesn't do like crazy zigzags on the palate though, and the finish doesn't last very long. We forgot to, like, I forgot, not we, because you're it's not your fault, but I forgot to grade the palate. Let's say, let's give an 80. I like the Ardbeg very much, and I do think it's better defined than the Octomore. However, there's more to explore, more to unpack in the Octomore. So let's give the Ardbeg an 85. No, that's maybe too high. Let's give it an 83. 83 on the palate, and the Octomore. Although, like, I was not able to pick apart as many things, right? I feel that it's, though, a matter of time. Yeah, it's spicier, it's hotter. You can, like I said, you can feel it travel up to your, to your stomach, or down to your stomach, not up. It's oily. Right, they're both non-chill filtered, but it's oily. Um, and yeah, like, the palate feels slightly more interesting than the Octomore, so let's give it an 85. The finish, there's nothing special about the Ardbeg's finish, I think. Let's try it again. Like the char, you get more of the char, like bitter chocolate on the finish, but it's not very long. Anyway, let's give it an, what did I give the, wow, I gave a 90 to the Dalmore. No, this is 60 to the Pappy Van Winkle. Yeah, let's give this a 75 on the like finish. And finish, the Octomore. Let's try again. Yeah, it's a longer finish. But I think that, again, like it's a longer finish, sure, but I kind of feel that there's more like alchemy, right? There's more transformation, more mutation going on in the Ardbeg, right? So I'll give it a higher grade. So I'll give the Octomore 70. I'll give the Ardbeg a higher grade. All right, so let's tally up the scores. And this has been going on for a very long time already, my God. So overall, the Ardbeg came in first, right, with a final score of 82, and the Octomore a final score of 77, which is sort of disappointing, right, given that it's 100 and something dollars more expensive than the Ardbeg. And again, like I was trying to be patient with it because it is more delicate. It is more complex, I feel, overall. Although maybe if you take the finish into account, as I was saying, right, you feel that it transforms a lot more the Ardbeg, like over, throughout the whole experience, you're getting a greater number of flavors, right? I do feel that the Ardbeg is better. Now, I did like, I mean, when I was drinking the Octomore just by itself, I did like it a lot, right? So it is sort of surprising that I'm scoring it this low, and I would recommend you buy it nonetheless, right? Like it is very interesting. As I was saying, it's more precisely because it is more complex, more mysterious, more opaque, right? You have to, it requires more effort, I guess, from you as a drinker, that you put in more of an effort to enjoy it, to pull it apart. So I do recommend that you get it. The Ardbeg comes in first. Yeah, I think that's accurate. That is my opinion, but I do like the Octomore a lot, though. So yeah, I feel that even though it's twice the price of the other one, twice as much, I do feel it's worth getting. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.